God bless football, Billy Gil.
God bless football, Mike Golic.
God bless football, Taylor.
God bless football, Stu.
Did you know Taylor's name before 5 minutes ago, Mike Golic?
No, I did not.
It's a pleasure to meet him, though.
Nice way to meet you.
Let's establish where both of you are. Billy, where do you imagine Taylor is right now?
He seems to be in a hotel.
Yeah.
I thought he was in New York, but because he's in a hotel, I don't think he's in a because he's in a hotel, I don't think he's in New York right now.
Okay, he's definitely not in New York. I think he's on a road. Golic, where do you imagine? Just look at the backdrop of Taylor's room there. Where do you imagine he is?
He's in the Midwest.
I would, if I had to choose a section of the country, I would choose Midwest. That is Taylor. Where are you, and why are you there?
I am in Chapel Hill. There's a super regional today for the Tar Heels.
Right.
So,
Of course.
Oh, okay.
If there's a super regional going down at Chapel Hill, Taylor's going to be there.
Yeah.
Is that fair?
that's correct.
Yes.
Mike, if anything's
it's
happening,
Taylor.
if anything's happening in Chapel Hill, Taylor's there.
Yeah. Mike, I want to start with Aaron Rodgers, and we have a special guest coming up. We're going to do some blind rankings. We're in new studios here. They're beautiful. They're fantastic. I am happy that Billy is here with me for this episode of God Bless Football. But I want to start with Aaron Rodgers. You know how my mind is conditioned here, Mike, okay? Because I go to the worst possible place. I put a future bet on the Steelers to win the Super Bowl. Not because Aaron Rodgers is going to be good, but because Aaron Rodgers is no longer playing for the Jets. How about that, Mike?
You just donated money. You wasted money. I don't care what your reasons are.
Right.
Pittsburgh is not winning the Super Bowl.
Well, we'll
so
see.
you just you can make jokes about whatever your reasons are. He's not a Jet anymore. But when it gets down to it, you donated money. You gave money away.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you have money to burn, which I guess you do, you can go ahead and make bets like that. But they got no shot to win the Super Bowl.
What was that sound?
Nah, I'm just enjoying Golic. I've missed him. It's been a while since we'd have Mike on.
I know, but you made the sound when he said money to burn.
Well, I mean, I'm looking around these new studios, and it seems like money's coming from somewhere.
I'm burning it. Mike, I find it fascinating that the Steelers, they're a pillar of stability in the NFL. They really are. They've had 4 head coaches. It's Roethlisberger. It's Terry Bradshaw. And yet the last few seasons, what the Steelers are doing is what the Jets normally do. They're just trying to find their quarterback. They have started Justin Fields, Russell Wilson, and now Aaron Rodgers. And so I just find it interesting that the organization that kind of gives off stability in the NFL is that organization, and yet they can't find themselves a quarterback.
It's been amazing the last couple of years. Really, of the 3 quarterbacks you mentioned, the only one that you had hope for being the future quarterback was Justin Fields, right? Because he was young.
Right.
Russell Wilson is on the 18th hole. Aaron Rodgers is on the 18th hole. They're just kind of going year to year, and it's just going to make Pittsburgh good enough to not have a high draft pick. And get a good quarterback in next year's draft or in last year's draft because they played just well enough. So I'm with you. The only quarterback that had a chance of being the future quarterback was Justin Fields, and now he's a Jet. So I'm sure you think the Jets are going to go to the Super Bowl. But I don't understand this. I mean, I really don't. You're bringing on Aaron Rodgers for a year tops,
Right.
probably, right? And we'll get into the on-the-field issues that they have and the division that they're competing with. But for a 2-decade with Tomlin, basically of stability and just a stable franchise forever, they have had trouble at the quarterback position since Ben Roethlisberger left. It's kind of like the Dolphins when Dan Marino left,
right?
Or the Browns going through quarterback after quarterback after quarterback. You hit on a quarterback. I'm not saying the Browns did, but certainly Miami did with Marino and Pittsburgh did with Roethlisberger, but now there's a huge struggle.
Where do you think they go from here, Mike? I mean, not that they're not going to win the Super Bowl, but they're probably not going to win the Super Bowl, right? So you have another season now that you kind of are just putting pieces together to get through the season. We're assuming, if things go well, the Tomlin streak of having a winning record every season will continue. But like what you said earlier, it's not going to be enough to win what they want to win, and they're not going to be bad enough to then draft their future quarterback. So
it's enough to get Tomlin back to the playoffs, though.
Yeah, but even Tomlin, right? Everybody's saying, okay, we're not going to fire him. He deserves to go out whenever he deserves to go out. But there's also questions as, has he done the most that he can here? And is this an Andy Reid situation where he goes someone else and has a fresh start? How tied do you think Aaron Rodgers and Mike Tomlin are at this point after this season?
Well, I don't think they're friendships. You know, Aaron Rodgers outside of Green Bay isn't at a place long enough. It's a work relationship. You know, that's what it is. It's a work relationship to get you to the final goal. And it's a head scratcher because they're not going to get to the final goal. They didn't put themselves in position to get a quarterback, or they didn't take a quarterback. They bring Mason Rudolph back. They have to solve. You could be as good as you want at every other position, but it's proven that you have to have an above average quarterback. And again, not on a 1 year deal.
Right.
To basically you play for a year and then you move on, but you're going to be good enough, just good enough to not be able to have a high pick. You'd have to give up unbelievable assets to go ahead and get a high pick. So Billy, I don't know. I don't understand the last. Again, I understand taking the shot on Justin Fields to be your future quarterback, and then maybe Russell Wilson as a kind of a security blanket. And Russell Wilson came in after Justin Fields went 4-2 as a starter, and Russell Wilson started out great, finished up poorly. But I don't understand it. You're going to be just good enough to not be able to get a quality rookie quarterback. So are you destined to continue to make offseason veteran quarterback moves?
I guess my question more so is, if this doesn't work out, does this all blow up the Tomlin experience in Pittsburgh?
That's a good question.
Well, I mean, eventually time runs out for everybody. Right now, Pittsburgh has been the epitome of Chuck Noll, Bill Cowher, and Mike Tomlin. They have been the franchise to look at and say, okay, we work through the highs, we work through the lows, we stay consistent. But even that wears out, and you're going on 2 decades with Mike Tomlin, and you're seeing they're having an issue finding the most important position on the field. And we keep talking about Mike Tomlin's streak of being 500. At some point, you're like, okay, and what is that doing? You know, what is that's a great streak.
Yeah.
It's great on his resume.
It's preventing you from getting a top 5 pick.
Well,
is what it's
that's
doing.
the thing.
Yes.
He's too good to rebuild almost.
I respect the hell out of him as a coach. Players respect the hell out of him as a coach. But at some point, you're going to have to say, well, okay, a streak of 500 or better, but, you know, going out, getting blasted in the first round of the playoffs, or not making the playoffs, or not really contending for the Super Bowl, there's going to be a line at some point.
All right, I know what you're thinking, Stugotz. Top 5 destinations for Mike Tomlin after he gets fired after this season.
I actually wasn't thinking that, although I will start thinking about that. What I was thinking about is Tomlin will go down, if he doesn't win another Super Bowl, as the 3rd best Steelers coach of all time. Is that fair, Mike?
Oh, if he doesn't get a Super Bowl, yeah.
Yes.
I mean, yes. Yeah, if he doesn't.
Right.
Well, he has 1.
Yeah, but Cowher has 2, and Chuck Noll has 4.
Yeah.
I mean,
4, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, again, he'll go down as unbelievable consistency of getting to a certain point. And again, one of the most respected guys out there. But at some point, you have to say, okay, we need to try and take the next step. Kind of like the Knicks are doing with Thibodeau, right?
Yeah.
Thibodeau gets them, which still is somewhat shocking. You get to the Eastern Conference Finals, first time in 25 years, first time back-to-back 50-win season since the 90s, but they feel he gets them to a certain point. Marty Schottenheimer in Cleveland, to the AFC title game, the fumble, the drive. You know, he gets fired. It's like to get the next coach to get him over the hump, which, of course, didn't happen in Cleveland. But that's what you look for. You're looking at, owners are looking at, well, this guy gets us to a certain point, but not over it.
Mike, so I was listening on the drive in to Evan Cohen, and he said something that I don't know that you're going to like. They were already kind of projecting, well, what happens when Mike Tomlin leaves? And he was saying, without sources, without knowing this, just a hunch, that he thinks that the Steelers' next head coach is Marcus Freeman.
Wow, Mike.
I don't.
Mike. Mike.
I don't know if I see Marcus as a.
He said he had no sources, Mike.
Yeah,
It's kind of like I talk about with free agent players. It's like what drives you. Does it drive you to get a ring? Does money drive you? Does geography drive you? In Marcus's case, does coaching at the highest level drive you?
Does it?
Right. So he's got a ton of money. He signed an extension with Notre Dame. They're paying like as one of the top coaches in college football, something they didn't normally do. Now they're doing. So the money really, and obviously the NFL could go above that. But what does Marcus want to do? Does he want to be a head coach in the NFL? That I don't know. I don't think he's even 40.
I think you do know, actually.
Yeah, I think you're kind of holding back on us here for some reason.
You're a golden domer.
I think he knows, but he doesn't want to say because he doesn't want to put it out there. He doesn't want to lose his coach. Yeah.
Professional teams, keep your mitts off my coach.
Yeah.
Okay. How about that?
That's the way. That's the way you said. That's the emotion I was looking for, Mike.
Yes.
Okay. He's yours.
I will say this.
The shirt I have on.
Yeah.
Come on.
I'll say this, Mike. I don't see Marcus Freeman there. And Stugotz, I feel like you might agree with me on this. I feel like when you're a Steelers head coach, you need some dirt under the fingernails. You know what I mean? Like you need some grit to you.
Right.
And I feel like Marcus is.
He's too clean.
Yeah. I feel like he goes. He has manicured nails. Probably he goes. He takes care of himself. Like that's. When I think Steelers, I don't think that.
He was a player.
Yeah, but how long ago?
He got his hands dirty at some point. Knows what it's like to get your hands dirty.
Yeah, but you know what Billy's talking about.
Yeah,
but you know what Billy's talking about. You have to look like Bill Cowher.
I mean, listen. There is not a coach in high school, college, or the NFL that when he's introduced has more women screaming for him than Marcus Freeman.
That's not Pittsburgh.
No,
that's what Billy's saying. Yes.
You go to work and you have a lunch pail. It's silver lunch pail. You walk in, maybe you have a hard hat. You take it off.
Yep.
Freeman's too busy. He's like, my hair's going to get messed up. He doesn't worry about any of that stuff.
Oh, God, Billy, I love you. I do have my top 5 teams. If Mike Tomlin were to get fired after this season, top 5 places Mike Tomlin could end up next season. How about that? We have no sounder here.
That's
we'll work
fine.
on
We don't
that.
need it.
Okay, number 5, the Green Bay Packers. Also a team that needs to have a coach that has some dirt under his fingernails.
Yeah.
I mean,
wow, you think Matt LaFleur would be in trouble?
I think LaFleur better start winning, Mike. Like, Jesus Christ, he's been there forever. He has a good season, regular season every year, does nothing once he gets to the playoffs.
Yeah, it's true.
All right. Number 4, Buffalo Bills.
Sean McDermott.
He's perpetually on the hot
Mike,
seat.
when you have that generational quarterback, when you have that guy at quarterback, you better win a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Listen, you could say the same thing about John Harbaugh in Baltimore, who's been there forever. They have a MVP quarterback.
But he won one.
Yeah. Mike, we were saying last week no one's happier for Sean McDermott to be the head coach of the Buffalo Bills than Josh Allen because he's always going to get the heat for not winning. And then once they fire him, then all eyes are on Josh.
And then Tomlin comes in. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's not entertaining.
Oh.
Number 3, Cincinnati Bengals.
Jack Taylor.
Yes.
Listen, I mean, my God, feel free to build a defense. You take my offensive coordinator from Notre Dame and you leave the cupboard bare, and now your best player you're in a contract.
Oh, please. Al Golden, you're not going to miss him for a second.
You know who builds defenses, Mike?
Mike Tomlin.
Yeah, there you go. Number 2, the Dallas Cowboys.
Wow, that quick on Schottenheimer, huh?
Oh, Schottenheimer is a stopgap.
He's
Get
a
out of here.
placeholder. Yeah. Come on, Mike. You don't believe that's a long term.
Schottenheimer.
Jerry needs a coach that will kind of just bow to him, and I don't see Mike Tomlin being that coach.
That's a good point.
But also, how much longer is Jerry going to be around?
Yeah, true.
Well, yeah.
Yep. And number 1, the San Francisco 49ers.
Wow, another team that just gets there but doesn't get over the hump. They're in a bit of a rebuild too. That's an interesting one.
Yes. Billy, do you know Mike has a new show?
I've heard, Mike. Congratulations.
Yeah. It is called Golic and Golic. It is 4 to 6 on the FanDuel Sports Network. Golic and Golic.
Yeah.
No separation between father and son, just their last name.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out who's first, who's second in the Golic and Golic. Who gets the top billing
seriously, you got to ask who's first.
I don't know.
I mean you got to be kidding.
Last show, you were second billing.
I will tell you that Junior was on earlier this week, and he said that he views himself as the first name, but he did it as Golic and Golic, so you can think you're the first name.
Yeah, he could view it all he wants.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, I mean, he obviously at DraftKings had an inside mole person that was on his side to put his name first.
Huh.
Some are saying
now it's as it should be.
Some are saying the name placement is what went wrong there.
Yeah.
Not me. I wouldn't have said that. Some are saying.
Mike, are you excited to do this? Because it's an afternoon show. It's 4 to 6 on the FanDuel Sports Network, and you're usually eating dinner.
Yeah, you have to stay up late now.
I'm concerned
Adjusted
about you.
bedtime? What are we doing?
Right.
No, it's actually 3 to 5 Eastern time. So we'll get the time right. It's seen all over the place. Actually, on cable TV as well.
Yeah.
FanDuel owns a bunch of regional sports networks around the country.
RSNs.
FanDuelSportsNetwork.com, the app, Amazon Prime, Apple TV. It's seen basically everywhere. But yeah, 3 to 5. It is interesting doing the afternoon. I'm happy to not get up at 4:15, which I've been doing since 1995 when I first did morning shows in Arizona.
Right.
And then did obviously, the ESPN stint, getting up that early, and then with DraftKings getting up early. So with FanDuel, we'll be getting up. I can sleep in, which is nice. I get to kind of cover what happened last night and the night before in sports, plus preview what's going on.
Yes.
But I think, overall, to be able to get some sleep is going to be a nice thing. This is very odd to me. It's the first time ever I've done afternoons. It's always been morning, so it's definitely going to be different.
Can you even sleep at this point? Like, I'm sure your body's just used to waking up at 4 a.m. now. Oh
yeah, but I mean, yeah. I usually, my body knows to sleep in on weekends, but after since the last show ended, I've been able to sleep in, and I'm kind of digging it. I'm kind of glad I'm not going back to morning. I have to start getting up early again. That would, I'm 62, man. I need my sleep.
Yeah. We did afternoons for a very long time. You know what I love about afternoons? You get to sit around and listen to all the other sports radio shows and steal their takes.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah, it's great.
That's true. So, hey, work smarter, not harder.
Yeah.
Whatever show is on the air before you, just listen to it on your drive to wherever you're going, Mike.
That's exactly right.
That's where I got the Marcus Freeman head coach of the Steelers take from driving in.
Yes. Yeah,
we actually have the first show Monday. We have Marcus on.
See? So ask him.
Shocking.
Right. Yeah, ask him what's
and you
next.
Don't know, right?
What are our ambitions here, Coach? Are we going to be NFL head coach? Throw out the Steelers thing. See what he says.
Yeah.
I don't think so. I think
Why?
I just talk about the upcoming season. I don't want to put anything in his head.
No one wants to hear about Notre Dame anymore, Mike. Come on. It's not 1980.
Actually, more people do want to hear about Notre Dame. We have blind rankings coming up. Golic's going to be a part of it. And we have a very special guest as well. We have we have one special guest, and we have blind rankings coming up next. Golic, stay right there. Fumbling around with all the equipment.
Because she's smarter than I am.
Oh.
That's not true.
Oh, no, that's very true.
Not anymore. Man, I'm losing brain cells by the minute.
Why, gummies?
Life is good.
What's going on? Valhalla?
Just chilling so hard.
Man, we got the Carolinas covered today. South Carolina and North Carolina.
We got all the Carolinas covered.
Who's in North Carolina?
Taylor. Taylor's never not in North Carolina.
Right.
Couple Carolinas.
He drove to Carolina.
To go to a super regional game.
Going to Carolina in my mind.
Yeah.
Super regional game. I'd be drinking heavily.
Any game you're drinking heavily.
Yeah.
How many beers do you think it takes for Mike Golic to get drunk?
Oh, at least 30.
Not many today. Not many today.
Jess, what do you think?
Like
Jess, you have gotten
mellowed
drunk. Well, hold on. Jess has gotten drunk with Mike Golic. Both Mike Golic and Mike Golic Jr. How many beers for Golic, for senior?
I feel like he's really mellowed out in his advanced age. I'm saying like maybe 5.
Wow.
Really?
Oh, yeah. 5
Really?
might be hammered.
You're a big guy. How about like a peak Golic when you were like the biggest you were and you were like, I guess, a partier?
God. It would take, and I liked beer better than alcohol, so it would take me double-digit beers. I would have to mix in like shots of tequila because the beer wouldn't have a big effect on me. Yeah, I was.
This is Philadelphia Eagles Mike Golic. Is that what we're talking about? Like the height of your powers?
It's that guy, Mike Golic, right back there. Yeah,
that guy right there. Yeah. Go ahead.
Again, drinking with Jerome, there was a lot of Hennessy involved.
Right. Jerome.
Who was the which teammate of yours was the biggest drinker?
Probably Jerome.
Really? And how many beers for Jerome, like in one sitting?
Jerome was like a liquor drinker,
right?
Like Hennessy.
That's how we do it in Miami. Yeah.
Yeah.
Straight from the bottle.
He had a briefcase that he took on the away trips with holes in the top of it, and he had like 3 or 4/5 of alcohol in the briefcase with the spout coming out of the top of the briefcase.
The U. We're going to play blind rankings with you here in just a second.
Are
Golic.
we?
Yeah. Are you familiar with blind rankings?
No.
Okay.
Imagine the title is self-explanatory.
Yeah.
I had to ask for clarification.
So did I.
When Taylor told me we were playing, and I was like, "What is that?"
So did I the first time we played. But I asked Taylor for clarification on everything. We had a call with Substack. I called Taylor afterwards. I go, "What is Substack?"
Dude, I A, don't know what Substack is, and B, told them not to include me on anything that involves Substack because I don't need to learn anything new.
Wait, what?
Wait, hold on a second, Billy. Mike, what if I told you could make like $500,000 on Substack?
Listen, we had this conversation that we could make $500,000 on TikTok, and we never did it.
Oh.
So I'm not falling for it, Stu. I'm not falling for
Well,
it.
did you follow through on the TikTok, Mike? You do the dances?
No, and I won't follow through on the Substack.
Why?
I won't.
While we're on the topic of money, so
Yes.
do I bill Lebitard for this, or David Sampson, or
You actually, you Bill Golic.
Yeah.
okay, I'll send you a Venmo.
Okay.
You can pay me at the golf tournament, Golic.
I
I
want to
was
play.
going to say, yeah, because as you would understand, I don't have Venmo.
Right, well, of course. Mike, we've been doing this show with you forever. I've known you forever.
Wait a minute,
We're
I
never
just-
invited to the golf
Yeah, I
tournament.
was going to say another year of no invites for this golf tournament.
Because you say because I know you,
Right.
you'd say you'd come and then you wouldn't show up. So I'm just cutting out the middleman.
Okay,
Wow.
what are the dates of this golf
Well,
tournament?
it's too late.
June 21st and 22nd. Here's the deal. I'll invite you once you make a donation.
Oh.
Oh, I see.
Wait, then that's not really an invite. You're just paying to go.
So do I Venmo the donation, or what do we do here?
Yeah, send it
Well,
to
you're
him
going
on
to have to
Venmo.
Venmo to my wife because I don't know how to do Venmo.
I want to play a game where we just name apps and Mike explains to us what he thinks they do.
Oh, my God.
Why don't you try one right now, just for Babbel?
Oh.
Mike, what do you think Babbel does?
Babbel is a language app.
Wow.
I mean,
you.
Too easy.
That's because it was a sponsor for one of the shows I've done.
You've done a
That's why
live
Billy
read for
thought of it.
Babbel.
There you go.
Yes.
We will get to Fuentes and the blind rankings in a second. Golic wants to talk about the Steelers still. Jess, you are a big Steelers fan. He's all yours now. Your thoughts getting Aaron Rodgers. You're a Bears fan and a Steelers fan. You got Aaron. What do you think?
Week 1 double revenge game, Stugotz. Jets versus
wow.
Steelers.
I know.
Justin Fields versus Aaron Rodgers. You versus me.
Yes, but Justin Fields is not good enough to have any sort of revenge game. I mean,
And he only started, 4 games last year for the Steelers, so it's a little weak.
He started 6 and he was 4-2. I
Oh, that's right. Thank you. He won 4 games. That's what I was thinking
I
of.
personally like Justin Fields, but I mean, Jess, we were talking. I mean, what's the end game for the Steelers with this?
Lose 12 games and draft Drew Allar, which I'm not going to lie, I don't feel good about that plan.
no, that was the plan before you got Aaron Rodgers. Now they're just good enough to get into the playoffs again and not get you a top 5 pick.
I know. I feel really bad about all of it, Stu. I have to jump back on the Bears bandwagon, which, I mean, it's not a great time. I guess the team's going to be better this year, but all that Caleb Williams stuff that came out about him not wanting to play for the Bears, I didn't like that stuff. So, man.
At least Ben Johnson. Now, I don't know if Caleb is the answer, but at least Ben Johnson has them going in the right direction, making moves.
I agree.
Now, they were a lot lower than Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh, I mean, on the field, they had 14 rushing touchdowns last year.
Right.
Do you know how many returning rushing touchdowns they have? 1. Jalen Warren had 1 rushing touchdown. It was Najee Harris, Justin Fields, and Russell Wilson had all the rest. They have 1 coming back.
That's more than
the
I expected. I thought you were
receiving
going to say none.
No, 1. And we know, and their rushing attack was 11th in the league. So, but Najee Harris had over 1,000 yards, and he's gone.
Right.
Yeah.
So your leading receiver was your tight end. Now you do have DK Metcalf, and oh, by the way, your offensive line, which was young, gave up 49 sacks to mobile quarterbacks. than Justin Fields and Russell Wilson. Now, Aaron Rodgers gets rid of the ball quickly. I certainly will give him that, but he can't move the way he used to move. I would, if you would lean this way, Jess, more apt to make the playoffs or more apt to be the first season in 18 years that Mike Tomlin doesn't reach 500?
I mean, it's tough to say because I think even with Aaron Rodgers, they're still right at that, there's very little for margin for error, I think. Like but I still think like all the things you said are true. I think the receiving core took a step forward and then a step back trading Pickens. Maybe that'll end up being the right decision in the long run. I guess we'll see how.
Don't worry,
how
Randall Cobb's coming. I mean,
I know Alan Lazard will save us. But I guess, I don't know. I don't mind. I think Arthur Smith does good things in the run game. I do like the offensive line. It was young last year, and I think they're rebuilding in the trenches, but they won't say that they're rebuilding in the trenches. I liked most of their draft picks this year. But again, like, it's just, I don't think Aaron Rodgers like wins you games at this point in his career. I think he just keeps you where you're at, if not is a slight detriment, because he did lose some games for the Jets last year with some pretty tough interceptions. Also, what if he just tears his Achilles again in the first play? Yeah, in the first game, like he's old now.
That only happens on the Jets.
What else comes into play is the division you're in. Baltimore's clearly the favorite.
Yeah.
Cincinnati was just they were one game behind Pittsburgh. They still have no defense, and they're in a contract squabble with their best defensive player. They have incredible offensive firepower. Cleveland, we're not going to worry about.
They have
Cleveland's
7 quarterbacks. They don't have one.
By division, they still have a chance to finish second and possibly grab a wild card.
Yeah. I mean, I still think that like with this team and with the players they have, they could make a wild card, like you said. But do I wish for that? At this point, it's probably better just to have a really crappy season and move on, and there's going to be so many quarterbacks in the draft next year. I've already talked myself into Garrett Nussmeier like 7 times. So
you're getting none of them.
Mike, do you know what Threads is for?
Thread?
Yeah,
Threads.
Isn't that like another Instagram type of an app?
Wow, look at you did spots for him.
Yeah, it's like Instagram's like Twitter, basically.
Come on.
There you go. Look at you.
Who's getting smarter as he's getting older?
You are. No one is getting smarter as they get older than you, Mike.
Yeah.
All right, Fuentes is here, Billy. Look at Fuentes. It is time for blind rankings. Mike, do you know what blind rankings are? You never played. You know, it's self-explanatory. You said it before.
I mean,
right?
you give a blind resume and we try and guess the team, I would imagine.
So Fuentes chooses the...
not at all.
Yeah. Mike, why don't you... Billy, explain it to him, please.
Fuentes doesn't choose anything.
Right.
Fuentes does not choose anything. Fuentes randomizes a list.
I apologize to you, Mike Fuentes.
Goes third person.
Yeah. Yeah, he also seems to have a printing press because he has a hat with words on it and a cup with words on it that he keeps showing. So this is how it works, Mike. Mike Fuentes, we're going to have rankings 1 through 10, and he's going to give us the subject, and then he's going to give us a name, and then you will put that name where you think it belongs on the list 1 to 10. However, you don't know what's coming next. So he'll give you, like, for example, a couple weeks ago, we did best backup quarterbacks.
Right.
And he would give us a name, and then you'd have to say, well, that is the 10th best backup quarterback in the NFL right now, or the 6th best, but you don't know who's coming. And there's more than 10 options obviously available. So at the end of the list, you're going to figure out, does this list make sense or not without knowing who's next?
He's already pissed off at us.
I like it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
When it takes you
It's big on Threads, Mike. It's big on Threads.
It takes Billy a minute to explain anything, though.
Yeah, that's true, too. Like,
I'm just trying to give you like the most so that you have all the information.
Right.
Yeah. Do you know what a
All right.
Nintendo Switch is, Mike?
Isn't that a video game?
Yep.
oh, wow.
Nintendo, good guess.
He's
Yeah.
on fire, yeah.
He is on
I haven't
fire.
hit that much.
Who's getting smarter with age than Mike Golic? I mean, nobody. All right, Fuentes, what is the topic this week for blind ranking so we can get Golic out of here?
For Mike Golic and Smetty, it is all-time Notre Dame players.
Wow.
All-timers.
So these are the top 10
Golden
blind
Domers,
rankings,
yeah.
all-time Notre Dame players.
Now, they're not. It's not a top 10. Stu keeps saying top 10. What it is I took all the notable players in Notre Dame's history.
Ooh.
I put them into a randomizer.
So, Mike,
you're only
you're
going to
not
get 10. So if you're waiting around for Joe Montana, that's the risk you take. You don't know if he's coming or not.
Hold on. Who decided who was notable? Like, is Johnny Lujak in here? Like, is this
Chat
just you?
GPT.
That's
Oh,
it.
Chat
you did nothing.
GPT decided who was
In a
notable.
world of chat GPT
You just
now,
did ChatGPT and then you did a randomizer, so you really did nothing
Correct.
for this.
Correct. Put in that tough hours.
You're just the host, though. Okay. We need you, Fuentes.
No, it doesn't sound like it.
All right.
Was Mark Zuckerberg just pushing buttons? I don't think so. Okay.
Yes, that's who you are, Mark Zuckerberg.
So who's playing?
Me, Billy, Jess, and
I'm
Mike.
in this. Good.
Yeah. Taylor, you playing?
No.
No, he's not.
Taylor's too busy. He's too busy. He's getting ready for a super regional.
Super regionals, yeah.
He's got a tailgate
I'm
soon.
reserving the top 2 spots for him.
Well, that's
But they might not be
don't
in it.
know.
We might.
Listen, if they're not in it, ChatGPT needs to be
Well,
dismantled.
no, that's
okay?
Mike. That's the
we
beauty
might end
of
up
this.
with Rick Meyer as
Yeah.
our best Notre Dame player of all time, Mike.
That's the beauty of this game is that if he is to go and he's to get the top 50 players, then he puts them in a randomizer. If the randomizer just says, okay, this is the order that you present them in, and that person is number 12 on the list, we're not going to get them in the top 10.
Correct.
That's why it's hard, because it's not just you saying these are the top 10. It's the order of you're only going to get 10 names, and you have to put where you think they will finish on the top 10 without knowing who's coming.
So instead of saying hard, like if Joe Montana isn't in this list, it's dumb.
I mean, come on.
But did Joe
dumb.
Montana have a top
Family
10
show.
college career
Thank you, Jess.
at Notre Dame,
Thank
Mike?
you,
Jess gets the game.
Yep,
All right.
Gets the game.
If it was including
All right.
professional statistics, I'm just saying.
Now, these
Lead
are
them to a national championship in 1977.
Cotton Bowl game too.
1977. My goodness.
7.
Ready for the first player?
50 years ago at this point.
I haven't done anything
Goodness
since.
gracious. Mike was like a teenager. Not even.
Bob Golic, your brother, the cooler Golic, in his prime, how many beers one sitting?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he's 15 at least.
Wow.
Just to get a buzz going?
In our prime, yeah.
Yeah.
Jess, Mike Golic Jr. in his prime. Some say he's still in his prime. Mike Golic Jr. in his prime, how many beers one sitting?
Mike would be under 10, but I think that generation, Jess, your generation was more drinks and not beer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
You would warm up with a natty light, but then you'd move on.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
All right. First player off our list.
Here we go.
2012. Manti Te'o.
Ooh.
Manti Te'o. Wow.
How far back does this list go, just out of curiosity? This is like all time?
World War II era.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
like Angelo Bertelli is on this list, I'm
Okay.
guessing.
All right. I'm putting
That's a singer you're
I'm
faking
putting
that.
Manti Te'o at number 5. It feels like a 5 to me.
I'll put him at 7.
Okay.
I'm putting him at 8.
8 for Golic.
I think I'm with Billy. I'll put him at 7.
Look
Okay.
at me.
All right.
Notre Dame expert.
All right.
You guys have 7 players better than Manti
I mean,
Te'o.
he was an outstanding player
Yeah.
and finished second in Heisman voting.
Heisman
Had
runner-up,
one of the
that's right.
best linebacker seasons of all time. But
Yeah.
he's certainly in the top 10. I just don't put him top 5.
But also, the Heisman voting was, you had the sentimental value there, and then we found out it was fraud. Anyway.
Okay. Don't bring it up.
All right.
Number
next name.
2
Yeah, go
off
ahead.
this list.
Yes.
George Gipp, the Gipper.
Oh.
Win one for the Gipper.
Okay, well, how are we ranking George Gipp? Because in terms of historical lore and, the sort of legacy of George Gipp, it's much more high than his actual playing statistics.
Too many questions.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have him at 4.
Rank the guy.
I have him at
8.
4.
Yeah,
Yeah,
put
you
him at
can't
8.
have the Gipper lower than 4 in my books.
I put the Gipp at
I
8.
Yeah.
agree.
Yeah.
With who?
I'm putting him at
4.
Really? Wow, look at me.
For historical reasons.
Yeah.
Just when you say Notre Dame, you say George Gipp.
Do you
Okay,
have any
I'll put him at
idea who they're
5.
talking
Yeah,
about?
the Gipper. Here's the question. What happens if he says Rudy? What do we
Hey.
do with that?
I'm leaving I've left number 1 open for him. So
He led
Okay,
Notre
good.
Dame 3 years in passing and rushing.
Rudy?
The Gipper.
Oh, the
No,
Gipp.
George Gipp.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just saying,
Stu.
Rudy would have got more playing time. I mean,
Yeah. you'd think, jeez.
Stu, what was your ranking?
I put him at number 8.
Are
The Gipp.
coaches included in this or just players?
We don't
No,
know.
just players.
So
All right. Next one, Fuentes.
Next player off the list, Mike Golic Jr.
10.
10.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to do that.
Yeah.
It's your
Consensus
son.
10.
It's only 10 because that's as low as we
That's
can go.
your son. It's Golic and Golic, FanDuel Network, 3 to 5 p.m. starting on Monday. Your son, you're ranking him 10th.
I think even Mike would rank himself 10th.
Yeah.
Yeah, what if we can't end up with Mike ahead of like Harrison Smith or something? Come on.
I know who that is.
All right, do you?
Stu, you said 10 too?
I put him at 10, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't blink. I just went right to 10.
Yeah.
Fourth player off
Don't
our
laugh
list.
at me, Mike. He's not my son. I mean,
Did ChatGPT give him as one of the memorable.
Yes, because
Really?
it said notable broadcaster at the top.
Oh, so it didn't even list him as a notable player.
So good.
Ouch.
All right,
If
next
we're
one.
ranking Notre Dame broadcasters, I'm putting him higher than 10.
Of course, yes.
Are you putting him higher than senior?
No, obviously.
Whoa.
Senior, are you putting junior ahead of senior? No.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't think he understands. Next name. Go ahead.
He knows what Threads is.
I know. You're right.
Jessica fan favorite, the bus, Jerome Bettis.
Oh.
Okay,
wow.
the bus had such a legendary career at Notre Dame. In terms of rushing yards, he's not close to the top 10, but in terms of yards per attempt, just absolutely a beast. He only had I want to say 300 attempts in his career because he also left school early to go to the NFL.
Yeah.
So I mean, I would put him at number 4.
Wow.
Okay.
I put him at 6.
Oh, I'm going to put him at 5, split the middle.
I'm just assuming, and maybe this is the fun of the game, that there are going to be some bigger names.
You don't know.
ahead.
You,
Well,
you never know.
You know what happens when you assume, Mike?
Yeah, we could, Mike. We could have ended up in a situation where we're waiting around, and Mike Golic Jr. is the last name that we get, and then we have to have him at number 1.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
that's the danger of this
Also,
game.
Yeah.
Mike, I'm assuming there's probably not another running back on this list.
Well,
so unless
oh.
Autry Denson is on here or
Ricky
know,
Waters.
man.
I'm comfortable with him being my top running back.
All right.
That's a good point.
All right. So I put
Thank
Bettis
you.
at 3. That's where I have Bettis. Yeah.
Alan Pinkett, I would put higher probably, but
Okay. All right. So Bettis at 3. Fuentes, next name for us.
Brady Quinn.
Oh, wow.
Now here's the thing.
Wow.
Is it all-time meaning to Notre Dame? Because if you factor in his NFL career, then
You can't factor in the
We're not
NFL.
thinking NFL.
Right.
no NFL, but he still holds tons of quarterback records at Notre Dame. I mean, he holds all-time career passing yards, single season passing yards, touchdowns in a game. I think he had 6 touchdown passes against BYU. But the problem with Quinn, obviously, because the defense was so bad in the Weiss era, they lost a lot of the big games that he started at. So he didn't beat USC, he didn't win a New Year's Six bowl game, but as just a pure passer, he was one of the best. Easily top 10 Notre Dame quarterback of all, probably top 5, maybe top 3 Notre Dame quarterback of all time.
I have him at 2.
So where does he go on Smetty's list is the question.
Yes.
I'll put him.
I'm putting him number 5.
Fuentes doesn't like all this talking. He just
No,
wants
I
a
know.
ranking.
Jeez.
That's all
Yeah.
he wants. You guys are talking your way
Oh, it's
through
not
it. I
an
understand.
acceptance speech. That's what you guys love to say.
Yeah, it's-
Sorry, I want to give some substance, so we're not just like
Exactly.
"Bah, number one.
I appreciate
number
that.
Substack,
one."
yeah.
Okay,
I
Substack.
appreciate that.
Yes.
I'm putting him at 3.
I have him at 2.
I'm putting Quinn at 6. He's right behind Manti Te'o. He's ahead of the Gip, though.
The thing is, I'm biased with Brady Quinn because, growing up, that was when Notre
He was
Dame
the guy.
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
the guy, and
Yes.
also I peed next to him at a Super Bowl. So
Did you really?
Yeah, we had that moment.
Huh?
Yeah.
You talked to him, or?
No, I would never. No. And I know your next question. There was a divider, so
How'd you know my next question?
I just know
Were you trying to see it, or?
there's a divider.
All right. What's the next name on the list?
Jess brought him up. He's 1947 Heisman winner and World War II veteran, Johnny Lujak.
Oh,
Johnny Lujak. The great Johnny Lujak.
I mean,
He won 3 national championships, you guys.
I have him at number
And he won
1.
the Heisman.
Really?
I have him at number 1. Yeah,
No, Jess, please tell me more about Johnny Lujak because I don't know. So tell me.
I mean World War II vet. That's
Okay.
a thank you for your service
Oh.
situation. Yeah, he's the number 1 for me.
He's number 1.
Yep.
Really?
See, I told you.
I'm going to put him at number 2.
I know Notre Dame.
Yeah, I'm going to put him at number
Put
2.
him-
I'll put him at number 2.
Wow, there
He
you go.
he has the best winning percentage among Notre Dame quarterbacks. I think he only lost 1 game or something. But
right.
World War II was disruptive in this era too.
Exactly.
Yeah,
It's a
I would say
different
so.
time. Yeah.
I'll still give him his due.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
How many
Yeah.
passing yards did Lujak have? I mean,
On,
That's a good
on a
question.
yeah,
Question,
on
I
a
could look it up.
on a whopping 12 attempts per game.
I mean, come on. He was a World War II
it's like
vet.
Earl Morrill
What's
with
wrong
the
with you
Dolphins in
guys?
72. He threw 8 times.
Yeah,
Jeez Louise.
You guys are sort of
disrespecting. Yes.
Not
this is
sort
no,
of.
this is that's not the time period we're talking about.
All right.
You're being very disrespectful.
Incredible.
All right.
He had 6,000 passing yards. Oh, that was in the NFL. Sorry. Hold on.
Yeah.
Hold
Well,
on.
in the NFL, wow. That was 12 years.
No, he only played 4 years in the NFL.
Mike is so mad at us for disrespecting
It's incredible,
Johnny Lujak.
Mike, what's going on here today.
He put his son 10th.
I mean, where would you put him?
10th.
Yeah, exactly. You put him 10 too.
Taylor, what do you have?
I have Johnny Lujak's stats.
Okay.
He threw for 2,080 yards at Notre Dame, 18 touchdowns, 24 interceptions.
But
So
World
a
War
quarter
II.
of a season for a quarterback today.
That was good back
II
then.
vet, though, yeah.
Wow.
But three
I mean,
natties, you said.
Whatever.
Right.
I could go on. They also didn't play like 12 games a season, so it's kind of hard to.
That doesn't help the argument.
We don't
though.
need to defend this. Johnny Lujack, number one for
Listen,
me
he's
and
number 2
Golic.
on my list, so
Yeah.
he's an
Hey,
all-time
he
great.
didn't have to play against this era's players. He had to play against
Yeah.
that era's players, and among
Yep.
that era's players, he was the best. So
Mike, how do you think Johnny Lujack would do in the portal today?
Oh, God.
You think he'd take the money and run, or you think he'd stay true to
I
Notre
think
Dame?
he'd be loyal to Notre Dame.
Okay. Well,
Really?
that I mean,
by default, right?
in fairness, in the war, he didn't switch sides, so I guess you're right.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Stay loyal. to
Next
Notre
one?
Dame. Yeah, go ahead.
Rocket Ishmael.
Oh.
oh, Rocket.
Wow.
Uh-oh.
What a special player.
I'm gonna put him at 8. It's just the way
8?
it's just the way my list is shaping up. You know,
Yeah.
I have 3, 6, 8, and 9 left. I'm gonna put him
I
at
have
8.
to put him at 6.
Yeah.
Rocket was just like one of the most electric
Special.
college football players of all time.
Yeah. Just for the spots left, I got to put him at 7. I have
crazy.
2, 3, and 9 left.
See how dangerous this game is, Mike?
All right.
Yes.
I'm going to
Yes.
put him at number 4. Number 4. I still have number 1 left. All right.
He's definitely a college football Hall of Famer.
No
so.
doubt. Yes. All right. Next one, Fuentes.
We return to quarterbacks. Joe Theismann.
Oh, I mean, name the trophy after him, Stu.
Yep. The Theismann
I
Trophy.
either have to put him at 1 or 8.
I have him
I'm
at
putting
3.
him at 9.
9.
Wow.
I only
9.
have 2 and 3 left, and I still. I mean, we got the possibility of Tim Brown and Joe Montana.
Yeah, Jeff
But you
Samardzija.
could put Theismann at 2. I would guess. I mean, he finished second in Heisman voting to Jim Plunkett.
Mike, where are you putting him?
He had him at 9.
9.
Jeez.
That's rough. Rudy's still out there,
putting him
Mike.
at
disrespectful to Joe. Listen,
Yeah.
I don't know if you're going to Tahoe or not, but when I see Theismann in Tahoe, I'm going to tell him you put him 9th on your list.
Yeah.
Right?
That's fine.
right.
Don't care.
All right. I know you don't.
Wait,
Mike
hold on.
actually doesn't care.
Does he go to your golf tournament?
No.
No.
There you go. That's the 9.
Disrespect.
There's
I'm
the
putting
He would've
9.
been 2 if
now
he
I'm
did.
You know
putting-
what?
yeah.
Now I'm putting him
I'm
at 9
moving Gojo
too.
up
Yeah,
to 9. I'm putting
exactly.
Theismann at 10.
I have Joe
Brady
Theismann at
comes
9
to the
now
golf
too.
tournament,
Ah,
Yeah.
fuck
He's
Joe.
5.
Yeah.
I have him at 9 because he didn't come to your golf tournament.
love
Mike,
Joe.
this is loyalty.
Yep. Yep. We'll be there, Mike. Who's the
I'm
next
in
name,
trouble.
Fuentes? Donations coming.
I'm in trouble with only 2 and 3 left.
Yep. What do you got?
Yeah.
What was yours, Stu, on Joe Theismann?
I moved Gojo up to 9. I put Theismann at 10.
Well, you can't move him.
You
All
can't
right,
do
I
that.
put
That's fine. Theismann's at
I
9.
put
Yeah, that's
Theismann
fine.
at 9.
Yeah.
I'll leave
Okay.
Gojo at 10.
Wow.
Just
I
because
only
Three
have-
nines and an 8.
Just
I only
because
have
he's
1
not
and
showing up
9
to Mike's
left.
golf tournament. It's disrespectful.
I
I
have-
mean,
What does everyone have left? You have 1 and 9, Jess. What do you have, Mike?
Yeah.
I have 2 and 3.
I have 7 and 1.
I have 3
That's
and 6.
trouble. All
3
right.
and 6, I think I've played good so far.
You have.
Good
yes.
game.
have.
Yes.
Yeah.
yes.
I didn't.
I had 9 was available, but then 9 was available, but then I found out that Theismann didn't go to his golf tournament, so that got filled up real quick.
Yep. Is Gojo going to the tournament?
Ooh.
Yeah, he'll be here.
Oh, good.
Brady
Of
Quinn?
course. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
I mean,
I'll move him up.
I'm glad I
Rocket
had him
Ismail?
too. Yeah.
Just throw this recording away. We'll start over.
Yeah.
How about Johnny Lujack?
Well,
I don't think he'll be there.
well,
All right, let's go. Next name, Fuentes.
Next name on the list. Golf tournament holder, a God Bless Football favorite, Mike Golic Sr.
wow.
That's my
what's-
number 1.
What spots did Mike have left?
He had 1 and 9.
3.
2 and
Oh,
3.
He's got to put himself second or third. You should.
Yeah.
You put yourself ahead of Joe Theismann.
This is lining up perfectly for you, Stugotz. I see you. What you have left, 1 and 7.
Yeah, should I go? Yeah. I'll put him at number 7.
Yeah.
Yeah, number 7. Number 7.
God.
I'm gonna put you at 3, Mike.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jess.
Hey, Mike, you're ahead of the GIP for me, so.
This is horrible.
Ahead of Johnny
Now it's- now
Lujack.
it's a
Yeah.
horrible-
Right now, my list is Lujack, Brady Quinn, Golic Sr., Gipper, and Bettis is my top 5.
Hell yeah.
That's where
So,
it's sticking.
Whoever the
An
next name,
all-century team.
whoever the next name is, I am stuck with that person at number 1. It better be a good name.
I'm stuck at number 2.
Yeah.
No, I'm at number 3, which is just a complete shamockery.
You're at 3. You're putting yourself at 3, Golic. A little being humble. I like that.
I had 2.
It's a
And
dangerous
the
game.
last name on the list,
Rudy.
the most winningest quarterback in Notre Dame history,
Ian Book.
Ian Book.
Oh no!
No.
Oh, I was about to say, I hope it's Ian Book.
please.
Ian Book does hold a lot of records because he played 4 years at Notre Dame, and like he was just
Get
a
outta
very
here.
consistent quarterback.
Yeah,
he played in 2
consistent at
playoff
not,
games.
he was
had 2
consistent at
undefeated
not winning
seasons.
national championships.
Well, that's
I mean,
every quarterback.
No,
basically.
Notre Dame was totally outmatched in both playoff games that they played that he was the quarterback for against. It was like, the Clemson team that ended up beating Alabama 44-16, and then this Alabama team in 2020 that just steamrolled everyone. So no, neither Notre Dame team came close, but he was an extremely solid Notre Dame quarterback
He
and
was.
someone
He was.
I think Notre Dame fans really appreciate him, especially now after the last 4 or 5 seasons, up until Riley Leonard obviously brought back some of the things that Ian Book was good at in his game and like elevated it. But he was so underappreciated in his time at Notre Dame. I'm putting him at 9, but
My list
That's all I
just
have
took a
left.
hit at the end.
Yeah.
What? Book 2 and me 3.
I love that whole like dissertation from Jess about how great he was. He's going at 9.
Yeah.
that's all I have left. It's all I have left.
If I had 10 available, Ian Book was going to go
Yeah.
10, but Gojo was there. I mean,
So what does your list look like, Mike?
Lou Jack, Ian Book, me, the Gipper, Brady, the Bus, Rocket, Manti, Theismann, and Mike.
Wow.
Okay. This was fun, Mike. We'll do it again next week. What do you think?
No,
Ooh.
absolutely not.
What?
If this is even a thought process, I'm pulling a hamstring.
All right. Golic and Golic, FanDuel Sports Network, 3 to 5 Eastern. Mike gets to sleep in. It's going to interrupt his dinner, but he gets to sleep in. So that is a good thing. Jess, Mike Golic, we love you. Thank you for doing this today, and hopefully we'll have you on more often.
Sounds good.
Send the bills to
See ya.
Levitard.
I will send my invoice to Levitard.
Yes, thank you.
Yes, not to me.